Hey, Patriots Nation! The vibe around Foxborough feels different today. You've got a once-written-off veteran turning into a cornerstone on defense, quiet but crucial tweaks to how we're protecting our quarterback, a rookie class that might redefine the future of this franchise, and a clear sign that the rest of the league is paying attention again. And the craziest part? None of that is even the most shocking thing about this moment. So are you ready for what's coming? Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in together. Patriots Nation. Let's start with the guy almost nobody expected to be a difference maker at this level, Shaison. When that one-year, $3 million prove-it deal was announced back in March, a lot of people treated it as a low-risk flyer, almost a let's see what's left in the tank move. Now, 12 games later, that gamble has turned into one of the pillars of an 11-2 team fighting for the top seed in the AFC and its first division title since 2019. He's already set single-season career highs in tackles for loss, quarterback hits, and sacks. Those aren't empty stats. They're showing up in third and long, in the red zone, in those key moments that swing entire games. Drives that used to become long possessions for the other team are now ending with the quarterback rushing reads, taking hits, or making mistakes because Shaison just blew up the pocket. It's not just the box score. The advanced numbers back it up. He's up near the top tier of edge rushers in pass rush win rate, pressures, and hurries. In plain English, he doesn't disappear. Even on plays where he doesn't show up in the highlight, he's collapsing the edge, forcing the quarterback to climb the pocket, and creating lanes for the rest of the front to finish the job. He's the kind of piece that changes the entire structure of a front seven. With Drake May playing at an MVP level, most of the national talk is about the offense, but a lot of what New England is doing would fall apart if the pass rush wasn't holding up. Shaison has gone from former first-rounder who didn't pan out to the engine of a defense that's dangerous again. And here's the question that really matters. With everything he's putting on tape, can you afford to let him walk after this season? Or does the organization now need to turn that prove-it rental into a long-term commitment in Foxborough? That decision can reshape the whole roster-building plan. What makes it even more Patriot way is how he's doing all of this. No drama, no headlines, no off-field noise, just steady, physical, relentless football. Teammates praise him, the coaching staff trusts him, and the defensive coordinator clearly calls games knowing he can isolate Shaison one-on-one and live with the result. That's the kind of player you lean on when every snap in January feels like it could end your season. While we're still catching our breath from what Shaison has been doing, there's another move behind the scenes that might look minor at first glance but quietly reveals how locked in this coaching staff is on the details down the stretch. Bringing Mickey Butler back to the practice squad and letting Bill Murray go. On paper, that's just a practice squad shuffle. In reality, it shows exactly where this staff is tightening the screws. Butler came in as an undrafted free agent out of Arkansas State after the 2025 draft. No big hype, no viral highlights. From the start, he showed something New England has always valued: consistency. He's not that raw, freak athlete who jumps off the screen, but he's a guard with a solid base, clean fundamentals, and a development mindset. He was among the last cuts when the offensive line room got crowded, landed on the practice squad, got released, and now he returns right when every detail starts to matter. The one-for-one swap, Butler in, Murray out, tells you the staff is reevaluating every snap in protection, especially with Jared Wilson and Will Campbell working their way back from injuries. Even if Butler doesn't immediately get elevated to the 53-man roster, just having him in the building again changes the picture. He knows the system, the terminology, the way this coaching staff wants the offensive line to operate in the run game and in pass protection. When you look at the profile of the Patriots' interior offensive linemen, there's a clear pattern. Guys who can move well enough for zone concepts, but still anchor against heavy inside bull rush. Butler fits that mold. He's not at the level of the starters, but he brings a baseline you can work with. In an emergency, he's the kind of player you can plug in without blowing up the entire game plan. So does this mean the offensive line is in panic mode? Not at all. What it really means is that Mike Vrabel wants redundancy and flexibility. He understands that May is playing like an MVP candidate, And none of that matters if your franchise quarterback isn't protected. Butler isn't coming in to be a hero. He's coming in to be insurance on the most important asset this team has. And while those subtle moves are reshaping the depth chart in the trenches, there's something even bigger changing the long-term outlook of this franchise. Patriots Nation, now we're stepping into territory almost nobody expected to see again this soon. New England actually hitting on a draft class that changes the franchise's trajectory. After years of watching picks flame out, from guys like Jalen Polk and Javon Baker to Tyquan Thornton and others that eroded trust in the scouting process, the 2025 group is finally delivering a core you can build around. It starts in the trenches, where everything in the NFL begins and ends. Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, even while dealing with injuries, stepped in and stabilized the left side of the offensive line like veterans. Their impact is so obvious that the moment they missed the game against the Giants, everyone felt the difference. They're not just protecting May, they're giving this offense a physical identity in the run game, opening lanes that have helped turn Tre'Veyon Henderson into a problem for defenses late in games. And speaking of Henderson, he might be the rookie making the loudest statement. Over 600 rushing yards, 6 total touchdowns, and more importantly, the confidence to push Ramondre Stevenson for that RB1 spot. He runs with explosion but also with patience, seeing cutback lanes and timing blocks the way only high-end backs do. When a young running back sees the field like that, it changes the entire ceiling of an offense. Kyle Williams adds another layer by stretching the field in the passing game. He's still inconsistent at times, but when he and May are on the same page, he becomes a legit deep threat, opening space for Stephon Diggs and the tight ends underneath. Once he adds just a little more consistency, he's the kind of player defenses have to account for on every snap. On defense, Craig Woodson has been a steal. 12 starts in 13 games and leading the team in defensive snaps. He doesn't look like a rookie. He plays like a guy who understands the scheme, reads quarterbacks, and finds himself in the right spot over and over. Joshua Farmer has carved out a role in the defensive line rotation, keeping the front fresh and physical against offenses that try to wear them down. Then you've got special teams, the phase no one wants to talk about until it loses you a game. Julian Ashby and Andy Borregales have kept things stable there, and no team planning to play deep into January can afford to be shaky in the kicking game. The most impressive part of all this? It's happening in the very first draft class under Mike Vrabel in New England. He said it himself. You've got to rely on the young guys you draft, develop them, trust them, and have them ready when their number is called. This group is answering that challenge and forcing the rest of the league to take notice. If the league needed any final sign that the New England Patriots are back in the center of the conversation, it just got one. And it came in prime time. After years where almost nobody outside of New England wanted to see this team on national TV, the league has flexed the Week 16 matchup against the Baltimore Ravens into Sunday Night Football. If New England beats Buffalo next Sunday, the AFC East is theirs. If they don't, that showdown with Baltimore becomes a chance to punch back immediately against another AFC heavyweight. This team spent nearly 5 years living in the shadow of its own history. Seasons where the rest of the country basically wrote the Patriots off, almost like the franchise had been erased from the league's memory. Then Mike Vrabel arrived. Drake May arrived. A new culture was built quietly, with work, patience, and resilience. Now you've got a second-year quarterback on an MVP-type trajectory, a head coach firmly in the Coach of the Year conversation, and a roster playing with the kind of edge that feels like a modern version of the Patriot way. Getting flexed into Sunday Night Football is not a friendly favor. It's prime real estate in the playoff race. It means the league wants the entire country to see what's going on in Foxborough. It means May, Diggs, Henderson, Shaison, Woodson, and the rest of this group now carry the responsibility and the spotlight of proving who they are in front of everyone. Facing the Ravens in that slot is a playoff message all by itself. It's a measuring stick game against a franchise that figures to be in the AFC race for years, just like those old Brady-era battles against Baltimore used to be. The difference now is that we're looking at a new chapter, new stars, and a very real sense that the future in New England is big again. Patriots Nation, after everything we've broken down today, Shaison's resurgence as a defensive cornerstone, the tweaks in offensive line depth, A rookie class that's rewriting this franchise's future, and the national spotlight returning with that Sunday Night Football flex. One thing is crystal clear. New England isn't just competing. This team is building something sustainable. The energy, the identity, and the belief are back in the building. So I want to hear from you. Do you think this group is already ready to make a real run at the top of the AFC? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and come along with us every step of the way.